Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. I'm your host, Martel Llewellyn. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, and thank you for all the support. Today, we have Amir from Team to Beat Miami Heat. Make sure that you guys go to his channel, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys go to Trent's channel, Top Notch, and the Miami Heat Network. Make sure that you guys go to his channel, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for all the support. So, Trent, last night, the Miami Heat, we finally got a dub versus the Brooklyn Nets. Unfortunately, our boy Drew Smith went down. What do you think about what happened? What do you think about the injury? Do you think it's going to be season ending? I really do, only because whenever you have those non-contact injuries, it's never good.
Yeah, man, it sucks, man, because I remember last offseason, Drew Smith was like a laughing stock, Like people didn't even want him on the roster. People were like, bro, get this bum off the team. We want Isaiah Stevens, this and that. And then, we gave him a two-way, and people were upset when we gave him the two-way because it's like, yo, we want Stevens or we want Christopher, because they were going off in summer league. But this is why we're not coaches. This is why we're not Spoelstra. This is why we're not Riley, because they see all the hard work that Drew Smith puts in behind the scenes. And that's the reason why they kept him around. And he was actually becoming a valuable piece for this team. Like, the dude was getting a lot of minutes. Like, he was getting 30-plus minutes, was even inserted in the starting lineup. His defense was definitely incredible. Tyler Herro came out and was like, yo, this is one of my favorite teammates to play with. You can tell that the team was hurt by this. The crowd was just silent to see this type of injury because he's coming off an ACL injury. Literally, the year before. Now he's coming in probably with an Achilles injury. And it sucks. It sucks because he didn't get a standard deal. He was probably going to get that standard deal. He really was. And my question is to you guys is like, does an organization keep backing them up? Because the organization can only do so much. And when I say backing them up, do they continue to keep like, no, we're going to hold on to him. We're going to hold on to him. Because now this is 2 season-ending injuries. You've seen the potential, but it's like, does he come back? And I feel like he probably does, but it's like, how much can they keep doing this? To keep like – so it sucks, man. I think he's going to be done for. And this one player is going to have to step up. And this is why we need Terry Rozier. And I don't know what the hell Terry Rozier is doing. What the hell is he doing? The dude's a scrub. Like, this is when, like, we can't break Josh Richardson, but he's hurt. Like, we don't have no point guards. You see when Tyler struggles, it's like it's hard to, like, any type of playmaking. Any. So, I don't know, man. It's tough, but at least we got the W, man, because we was on a 3-game losing streak. And that would have been rough losing to Brooklyn.
Without Finney Smith, without Cam Thomas, without some other rotational players as well. But anyway, what were you going to say, Martel?
Yeah, so Amir, now that Drew Smith is possibly out, where do you go going forward with this point guard position? People are talking about Markelle Fultz. People are talking about Dennis Smith Jr. Yesterday, Dennis Smith Jr. said he wants to join the Miami Heat right now. He said he's ready. So where do you go with the new point guard slot? Because to be honest, I still think we're going to need a backup point guard. I think Burks is solid. Josh Richardson, he's trash, but I still think that we have to fill out that roster spot, especially you have to have 14 spots, and we need to fill that by Sunday afternoon. So within the upcoming days, as soon as we find out what's going on with Drew, that spot will be filled with somebody.
Yeah. Before we get there, though, just shout out to Drew. Prayers up, obviously, for Drew. Unfortunate, man, that he looks like it was an Achilles injury. Like, I saw the replay and it looked like his calf twitched, kind of like how KD was having calf issues, but it really actually was the Achilles. The tendon goes all the way up to your calf muscle. So it looked like an Achilles. So it just sucks, to your point, because it was like a few days from getting that standard contract. He was going to get 100%. Like, he was playing in the closing rotation, playing 31 minutes per game, like Trent said, averaging 7 points per game, couple rebounds, couple assists, 1.6 steals. Remember what he told us in the podcast during the offseason, what he was working on? He's like, One, I was working on my recovery. I just want to get on the floor, but I'm working on my shooting. I need to hit the 3 if I want to be able to play. He was shooting 53% on like 3 attempts, a little under 3, so not crazy amount, but 53%. Obviously, that was not going to last, but if it even went down to like 40%, 41%, that's insane, right? So sucks that we freaking lost him. And you mentioned a few guys that could potentially be added to the roster. I made a video on Dennis Smith Jr., obviously, after he was on the OG's podcast, saying that he's ready, wants to play for the Heat, but he hasn't played in the NBA since last year. He only played 56 games. I like the idea, but like the NBA is speaking. Like, if all 30 teams for some reason is not signing this guy, there's definitely some sort of issue there. He's never played more than 69 games. That was his rookie season. So he's always missing games. He could be a good fit, but I'd rather go the route, and the cheap route, which is what this Miami Heat team probably will do, is we're going to probably waive Drew. They said we could still have him in the facilities. He could still train and rehab with the team doctors. We'll revisit him next year. I don't know if he's injury prone because last year he slipped on a fucking piece of paper and he tore his ACL. This one, he was at the top of the key, right, ready to make a move to accelerate, and he like tore his Achilles. Like, that shit happens, right? So I think he's not injury prone, but we'll keep him in the system. With that said, I don't know who we're going to give a standard contract to, but that two-way spot has to go to Isaiah Stevens. He is a actual true floor general. We have no real point guard. Terry's not a point guard. Drew technically wasn't like a traditional type of point guard. Tyler isn't either. I think Isaiah Stevens is that only floor general that we can actually have. He's averaging what, like 10 assists per game in the G League, like 11 points, 10 assists. Like, I see him getting the two-way, maybe cracking the rotation, but I don't know who we give a standard to. Who do you think, Martel? Do you think we give it to Kashad, or do you think we go the Dennis Smith, the Markelle Fultz, or someone else perhaps that's like a free agent?
Yeah, because you need that veteran leadership on this team. That's why I really don't understand why guys like Alec Burks don't play more. I think Pelle Larson's great, but you need that veteran leadership, especially at the point guard position and at the backup point guard position. Dennis Smith Jr. is 27 years old. Is he going to fix all of our problems? No. But when you have a guy that's 27 years old, athletic, a former top 10 pick, you have to grab him immediately. There's no way, like this Miami Heat team, we lack talent. We lack all these different things. He's the type of guy that you need on the roster, a defensive-minded point guard that can pretty much replicate some of the stuff that Drew Smith was doing, but at a higher level. Now, there's a lot of people, they're mentioning Lonzo Ball and all these other things, but Trent, go ahead.
Yeah, no, honestly, I know you probably guys are not the biggest fans of Lonzo Ball, but I think Lonzo Ball would actually fit this team perfectly. Outside of his injuries, the dude improved his jumper. He's a great playmaker, and he's a great defender. Those three things will fit perfect for this team, and also his contract's not that expensive at all. So you can really take a 1-year trial on Lonzo Ball. If he plays good, you keep him. If he plays bad, you let him walk. I don't think it's a big deal. But bringing Lonzo to this team would actually be very, very fun. Like I said, Lonzo deals with all these type injuries, but if you watch him on the court, the dude actually plays some good basketball. And then going to Markelle Fultz, I'm going to be honest with you. We're not coaches. We're not GMs. There has to be a reason why he's still a free agent. Because whenever I see him play on the Magic, I felt like he played a valuable role, but no team has picked him up. So there's something that we don't know yet, the reason why he's not getting picked up. Because
Same with Dennis Smith. Same with Dennis Smith, right? Same with Dennis Smith, to your point.
But look, though, Dennis Smith has been bouncing from team to team a lot. Markelle Fultz dealt with injuries, had a good season with the Magic, and it never touched the court again. You know what I mean? So that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't add up to me. So there's something that's come. This is something that we don't know. Maybe he has an injury. Maybe Markelle has an injury that hasn't fully recovered, and teams probably looked over it and was like, I don't want to take the risk on him just yet. Let's wait till he's fully healthy. Because I just don't see him sitting out a full season. Especially he just played with the Magic. He was solid. They had a rotation of him, Suggs, and Cole Anthony. And they kept Suggs and look at, I don't know if you watch the Magic, Cole Anthony sucks now. Besides against us. Against us, he was Jordan. But
Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the reminder. That was miserable.
The crazy thing is, Cole Anthony hadn't had one good game this whole year until he played Mike.
I looked it up, Trent. His last 4 games combined, it equaled 37 points. He had 35. 4, 14, whatever. Like, he's not even in the rotation. Like, he's a role player now. Like, he's a good role player. He's a solid role player, right? But he's a role player. That's the guys who usually dominate the Miami Heat, which is frustrating. God, we didn't even talk about that. We didn't even talk about that game, though. Honestly, guys, that Magic collapse.
I don't want to talk about it.
We don't need to. Hey, but the Magic. Trent mentioned this earlier, and we called him crazy a little bit. Not too crazy. We thought we agreed with you that the Magic would be a better regular season team than the Miami Heat. But like when their 2 guys come back, they could be a better playoff team now, right? We talk shit. Big Tone talked a lot of shit about that too. You agreed too, saying that based on last year, you were thinking maybe you're right. Maybe they can't beat the Miami Heat in the playoffs if we're healthy, if Jimmy's back, all that shit. But when Franz comes back, when Paolo comes back, like they're lethal, man, because they beat the Celtics last night without Suggs, Paolo, and Franz. And I know Jason Tatum was out, but who gives a shit? You should still. You're the Celtics.
Hey, look. Hey, see, this is the problem, and I'm about to do a quick little rant. It's gonna be real quick. Don't worry. And we get to the next topic. People think, oh, I'm a fake Heat fan. Oh, you just be talking to talk, this and that. The truth is, I watch every single team. I know what the hell is going around the NBA. I just don't watch the Miami Heat. So when I speak, I'm speaking because I watch this team. A lot of Heat fans only watch Heat games. So when I say, oh, the Magic are going to be good, the Magic have 2 top 10 players at like 20 plus that are excellent.
Nah. Wagner's not top 10.
Bro, Franz
Top
Wagner
20.
took that leap this year. He took that leap this year. When I say top 10, I'm talking about for age-wise. Like, for his age, 20 plus, he's in that range, he's definitely top 10.
Yeah, gotcha.
Playing all-star basketball. And so when people say, oh, I'm a fake Heat fan, this and that, the problem is you can't handle the truth. And no one can handle the truth. And this is for everybody in the chat. Y'all can't handle the truth. When I say Miami sucks, we suck. Then y'all be like, we just won 3 games. I'm happy we won 3 games, but guess what? We just lost 3 games. That's what you call a mediocre team. And we've been like that for the last couple years. You want me to be like Ernest? No offense to Ernest. I love Ernest, but you want me to just be positive and positive. I can't. I have to call it the bull crap. Y'all don't want to hear the bull crap. I'm just saying. I still love y'all, but y'all never want to hear the bull crap. Y'all just want to hear positivity. It's not everything's about positivity in this Miami Heat world. Sorry. It's not.
So what do you guys think about Kel'el Ware? Because all of a sudden now, Eric Spoelstra came out last night, he's doing things that will wow you. When we've been saying this the whole time, I'm not saying he has to play 30 minutes a game. I do think that we should at least see flashes with him and Bam. Last night we saw it with him and Nico, and bro, they looked amazing in terms of you had Nico running in transition. You had Kel'el Ware doing all that we want him to do: block shots, catch rebounds, catch lobs. That's it. People are making this a lot, more complicated, or at least Spo is. So, Amir, what do you think about Kel'el Ware's development so far? Should he continue to get minutes? Because this Miami Heat team needs that. He brings something that nobody on this roster can bring us.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Thomas Bryant gone, and he was getting some minutes, early on in the season. Then he was out of the rotation. And then Kevin Love, obviously, he can make an impact against certain teams. Right, it depends on matchups, but he's 35. You can't play defense. You can't play Kevin Love. You saw what happened against the Detroit Pistons, and when Kevin Love plays against younger dudes, like, he just can't keep up. So I think you need to play Kel'el. He had a short stint in the G League, showed that obviously he is capable of playing at the NBA level because he was dominating the G League, which is a good sign. And last night he showed some good. He had good moments, especially on the defensive end. That's what we want him to be, as a defender for us and a rebounder. He's 6'11", whatever it is, with like a 7'5" wingspan. So, like, he shows that he can get those defensive rebounds, which is great because we don't want to allow second chance opportunities when Haywood's in there, and when we have all these smaller dudes in that lineup. We get killed on the rebounds. And what happens when we lose the rebounding battle? We lose every time. It's crazy. If we win the rebounding battle, we always win. We never lose. Like, that doesn't happen for every team across the NBA. Like, we have to win the rebounding battle. So he gives us that. And what did he play? 15 minutes last night, 7 rebounds. Some of those rebounds led to fast break, to your point, transition plays to Nico. So he has a good connection. And I love that the backup rotation now hopefully can include Nico and him coming off the bench. Now you have extra functional size. You have Nico, who can dribble the ball a little bit and play make and distribute and hit the 3. And then you have Kel'el, who can do a little rim protection, who can get those rebounds, and who's a lob threat. Like, he looked a little bit like Derek Lively last night. He was in the dunker spot. That chemistry between him and Hero, I think, is huge, because Hero is becoming a better playmaker in front of our eyes. And because he's getting better at getting to the basket, teams are collapsing on him. And now with Ware, you saw he had 3 alley-oops, at least 2, right, last night against the Nets. But now when Tyler Hero's getting downhill and they're double teaming, he has a lob threat with Kel'el Ware. And I think we need that as a release valve. And so I like it. I think moving forward, like, if Kel'el sucks, don't play him. Like, if he's playing like shit, take him out. But give him 10 to 14 minutes every game, just like you were kind of doing with Kevin Love, right? I mean, what do you guys think? 10 to 14 minutes minimum moving forward? Like, if he sucks, pull him, but just let him learn. You got to throw him in the fire. give him a chance to learn, and he's gonna make mistakes, but like I think he needs at least 10 minutes every single game to see what he can do.
Try go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Bam Adebayo came out and said, "Man, you lucky. You're lucky to play your rookie year because I ain't played my rookie year." You know what I mean? And so this is just a Spo thing. This is a typical Spo thing where we want these players playing. We feel like they should be playing, and they're not playing. But after you trade Thomas Bryant, Kevin Love's washed up. I'd say washed up, but he just can't be on the court for some games, especially in the postseason. He just can't. You drafted a big for a reason, and he looked good, man. I'm rooting for the dude. Like the problem is it'd be different, right? If the Miami Heat were like the Celtics in the sense of like, bro, they're just great everywhere, and like if you bring in this piece, is gonna ruin their thing, bro. The Miami Heat's mediocre. So like if Kel'el Ware's struggling, okay, Jovic struggled. These players struggle. Who cares? Let them struggle. That's how you learn, and that's how you become great. And that's why I was happy when they put him in the G League because more reps is better for him. Now that he's back into the NBA, playing with the Miami Heat, you can see the glimpse of him being great with Bam and having a good future with this team. I mean, he's getting like 7 rebounds every time he's playing. He's not getting much minutes, but to get 7 rebounds, that's great. That's great. Give me a double-double. I'll take a double-double every night with Kel'el Ware. Protect that rim, and he's just going to continue to improve. Hopefully, Spo doesn't do the thing where he does with Jovic. He plays them, and then he says, you're going back to DNPs. Because Spo, he be doing that a lot. You just can't mess up. And I just don't get it because it's like these young players are built to mess up. That's how they're young. They're not vets. They haven't been in the league for 10 years. They're built to mess up. So it's like you have to be perfect. But then again, he goes out there and plays Josh Richardson. So it just doesn't make sense to me because beginning of the year when he was playing Josh Richardson, we all know Josh Richardson shouldn't have been in the he shouldn't even be on the team, but he shouldn't have been on the court because that's how bad he was. Kel'el Larson's a rookie and was playing better than him. You know what I mean? So it's like I just don't get sometimes what Spo does. But hey, he's one of the best coaches in the world. I'm gonna let him rock. But Kel'el Ware needs to be playing. He needs to be playing. That's how you become a great player. Look at the Magic. They're starting to play their young players. I'm sorry to keep bringing up the Magic, but they have so many young players over there, and they're just letting them play. Goga. I want to tell you something. Y'all remember Goga, the dude that went 8 for 8 against us? His name is Goga. I don't know if you know.
Beat that say whatever the hell's name is.
Yo, the day Zion got drafted, there's this viral picture. It's Zion and Goga. No one was talking to Goga at all. They just left him. Everybody was answering they went all to Zion. Now, if you look back, Goga, the Magic kept playing him. They just kept playing him. And now he's a starting center in this league that's giving you a double-double every single night. It's all about letting these guys fail, struggle, and then you finally get to the cream of the top, and you be successful as a big man in this league. It's really not that hard. Be a Derek Lively, you'll be fine. Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. We definitely need that size. There's no excuse. We don't have a legitimate backup 5. And it's like what you said. When they drafted him, they came out and said, we drafted him to play next to Bam. And they don't necessarily always have to play together. But for him not to have minutes when you lack size, rebounding, and athleticism, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, Trent, right before we close, if you're able to add one player to this roster via trade, who are you trying to add?
I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I would love a Cam Johnson or a Nikola Vucevic. I actually love when one of the supporters brought up, he said Lonzo Ball. If Lonzo Ball is part of that deal, that's a 2-for-1 because now we get our point guard, and then also we get a floor spacing big that's shooting very, very good at the 3-point line. I believe it's like 40%. Not only that, the dude's averaging a double-double. So if you can get a guy next to Bam that's actually a better scorer than Bam Adebayo, even though Bam has been playing better, yes, Vooch is a better scorer than Bam Adebayo because Bam Adebayo sometimes just I don't know. I don't know what he'd be doing on the offensive end. But if you can add that to Tyler, you can add that to Jimmy, and add it to Bam with Alonzo Ball, I personally would love that. Would it get us over the hump? We'll see, man. But I personally think this is the last year for everything. We don't trade Jimmy Butler during the season. Stars never get traded during the season. You don't usually see that happening. But we continue to keep talking about these rumors because I love them. But yeah, Jimmy's not going to get traded. We're going to wait till the off season. He'll be gone by then, or maybe he'll get an extension, and we roll from there. So yeah, I'd love to add Alonzo and Vooch. And shout out to you, Willie.
Go ahead, Amir. You're good.
You're on mute.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, of the players that are realistic and on the block or being shopped, I'd probably say I still think Cam Johnson. Like I saw him yesterday against the Miami Heat. What he looks like as a number one option, which he's not a number one option. He's just thrusted into that one option with Cam Thomas out, and he looks good, man. Like his 3-point ability, the way he could spread the floor, he's shooting 43% from three on 6-7 attempts. Like having someone who could hit the three on this team, but can actually play defense and is more versatile. Like, I'm sorry, Duncan Robinson, he has improved. I love Duncan, but he's not a Cam Johnson. Like, who would you rather have, Cam Johnson or Duncan Robinson, right? And I'm saying that because you might have to trade a Duncan Robinson to get him to make the salaries work, because I don't think they're going to take Terry. No one's going to take Terry this year. We're not trading Terry Rozier. Like, hopefully his value increases as a six man off of our bench, but he has 1 year left next season. Next season, when he's making $25 million, he's an expiring contract. Then he's going to be more valuable because he's someone that can come off the books for a team. Right now, I don't think someone wants to inherit him. Cam Johnson's making less technically. He's making like 22, 23. I think he has 2 more seasons after this season. So we would have to be willing to take on that contract, but I think we should, man. He's a pretty good defender. He can get to the rack. He's someone I think that could fit in with this system and that Spo would like and play. I like Vucevic too, but I don't know, man. He's 32, 33, not the best defender. I don't know if that's going to even move the needle enough.
But that's why we have Bam.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we can hold out for someone better, but we never get anybody better. So let's just focus on that kind of mid-tier guy, and that mid-tier guy to me would be probably Cam Johnson. Who would you rather have, Cam Johnson or Kuzma on this team? Like, who do you think would make a more impact?
Cam Johnson. Kyle Kuzma is trash. That's why the Wizards can't trade him. They've been trying to trade him for the last 2 seasons, and they can't get nothing out of him.
No, but what's very weird is that, because like, think about it, how on earth, because his contract is going down, which is actually very favorable. Most people nowadays, their contract continues to go up the longer that it plays out. I just think he folded because when they asked him, they were supposed to trade him to the Mavericks last year, and he said no, he wanted to stay. All of a sudden now he wants to be on this contending team. I think that's really what hurt him. But then at the same time, I would gladly take Kyle Kuzma. Listen, his numbers might be down, but he's with the Wizards. They have no aspirations for winning. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I would definitely take, Kyle Kuzma. Not on this roster, because I think we need more of a playmaking type guard. More guys, maybe like a better wing defender. That's just me, but I wouldn't mind Kyle Kuzma. And then also, too, what's the price? Who are we trading?
Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier.
They're not going to take Terry Rozier.
I know. Next year they will. Terry's our trade asset and chip next season. Same with Duncan, probably, because Duncan doesn't have a guaranteed contract next year, but he's making $19 million. Only 10 of the 19 is guaranteed. That's a favorable contract right there, right? If someone can get Duncan Robinson for $10 million a year, right? Like, he's worth $10 million a year now. It wasn't a favorable contract 5 years ago, but that's another trade piece too.
What do you think about De'Aaron Fox? Because listen, he's out of Sacramento. He's already made it clear him and his agent have already spoken to the Kings. It's only a matter of time that he leaves. They're 12th in the West. He said it's not about the money. And whenever you hear guys say it's not about the money, they're out of there, because obviously De'Aaron Fox he's going to get paid wherever he goes. I know a lot of people have been making videos, and we have Sacramento saying Butler for Fox. I don't see that happening, but how do you think that we can even be in that ballpark of Fox? Because I just don't think we have the assets to even get him. Even if we trade Tyler, Jaime, Jovic, we don't have the first round picks that every team wants.
Yeah, we're not getting him. But unless he stays and becomes a free agent, and it's like he realizes, or if he wants to go to Miami only, if he wants to play with Bam. How close are they? I know they played together, but are they super close? I don't feel like they're as close as like Dame and him and Beal and him and other guys. Like Jason.
No, they're close. They're close.
Okay, so if he really wants to play with Bam, maybe he stays with the Kings next year, and then 2026 he becomes a free agent. We don't have Jimmy or not. Who knows? Whatever. We we might have the cap space at that point, depending on what happens with Jimmy. That's probably more realistic because, again, why are they going to go from De'Aaron Fox, who's only 26, 27, who's only a couple years older than Tyler, for Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero would have to be that centerpiece. Like, how does Tyler Hero make them better than Fox? Like, I'm sorry, delusional Heat fans, if you think Tyler Hero this season is better than Fox, like, that's crazy, right? Like, it's not like he's gaining ground, right? Which isn't crazy to say, but he's not a De'Aaron Fox. So are they willing to take a De'Aaron Fox? Maybe Martell, but guess what we have to throw in? Jaime, Kel'el, Jovic, and another piece to make the salaries work, right? Because, I mean, Tyler makes 30. I think he's like in the 46 range or something, whatever that is. Or what is he making? I don't even know. Fox chat, if you know. I know he's making more than Tyler Hero, but not by a crazy amount. So I think the salaries could work with Jaime, with Jovic, with Kel'el, with Tyler Hero. Is that enough? Would you do it, Martell? And do you think that's enough? If we have to trade him by next season, let's say by next season he demands a trade.
Yeah, but it comes down to what do the Sacramento Kings want? That's what it comes down to. I think the biggest thing is we don't have the picks. We don't have picks to be in the conversation, and that's the problem because you have teams like the Spurs and OKC. You have all these other teams that they have the picks. The Rockets, yeah, they have all these picks, and that's exactly what Sacramento. Because think about it, they can pretty much still keep their decent core that they have. They can still keep everybody, and then now they have picks. So now you can take your time and trade DeMar DeRozan, but they can still keep Sabonis. They can still keep what's that other shooting guard forward that they have? I can't remember his name, but they still have valuable pieces. You know what I mean?
But they would want all the picks.
Yes,
you're right. What the Mikal Bridges got 5. Freaking Rudy Gobert got 4 picks. Like, all these players that are getting traded that are stars, you're getting 3 to 5 first-round picks. We'll have one pick. So it's like, hey, Kel'el is technically our pick. Jaime was our pick 2 years ago. I don't think we could spin it that those guys are, considered first-round picks and that's equal. No. Like, the Houston Rockets could be like, all right, we're going to trade you Fred VanVleet, because he's going to be on an expiring contract, I think, next season, right? So, and he's still good, right? VanVleet's good. He's only like 32. He's not crazy old, 33. Yeah, we'll trade you, Sacramento, VanVleet, one of like our young guys like Jabari Smith, and 3 to 4 first-round picks for Fox. Then you pair Fox with Sengun, with Amen Thompson, with Torrey Eason. Right, like they have a solid squad there. They have fucking Cam Whitmore still. They have Brooks still. They have Steven Adams still. Like, that could be solid. So you're right. I don't think we have any shot unless he's a free agent and he wants to come here. That's it.
Let me say something. Yeah, I'll trade Jaime right now.
Yeah, obviously.
No, we all would. We all would, but that's not going to get you anything.
It could though, because some people probably be like, "Oh, it's just the injuries," and then they look at they be like, "He's good."
And he's not completely washed at this point, but like, we see his ceiling. He's a role player. He's a solid role player in the NBA. He's gonna have 3-4 good games in a row, and then he's gonna have a freaking week where he's horrible. That's Jaime right now, right? Like, he's showing, or it could be the sophomore slump. But yeah, his trade value is down from last year, technically, right? Like, if we wanted to trade Jaime for now, it's like, yeah, they're like, okay, fine, but like, what is he really worth? He's a role player. Like, you need to throw in the draft picks, especially if we're talking about De'Aaron Fox level type dudes. We might have to even throw him in for a Vooch. If we want to get a Vucevic, to your point, Trent, because right now they wanted some second-round picks or whatever, but like, to make the salaries work, we might have to throw in Jaime and whoever, like, as an asset to get a Vucevic for the Bulls, because they're not going to take Terry Rozier for him. Like, they're not going to take on that contract. So, yeah, Jaime needs to step up. He's having a bad year. But he'll figure it out. He's a solid player. He's just a role player, in my opinion. Nothing more.
Guys, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We have 133 people in the building. Make sure that you go to Team to Beat Miami Heat's channel. Get him to 2,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you go to Trent's channels, Top Notch, and the Miami Heat Network. And make sure that you subscribe on this platform. Thank you guys for all the support. Breaking news, though. Drew Smith, he did tore his Achilles out for the season. I know it sounds like we're moving on fast, but the Miami Heat have until Sunday to figure out who they're going to sign in his place. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channels. Thank you guys for all the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video.